I wasn't up there. I thought I was up there. It didn't have me, so I wasn't able to do the whole intro. Oh, wow. Oh, Murphy's Law. That's what I get for letting kids spend the night last night and shooing them out of here a little while ago. Well, let's look at the result here. Man, got the goopies coming back. All right, so first one in was Walt Rogers, and then Phelan Clan Wolf, then Moon Over Miami, Shady Hill Homestead, Chef Tech, Mother Earth Garden Club, It's the Marshmallow Man, Kiki Gardens, and Mark's rubbing it in. Well, I thought you were sitting out there on a t-shirt once it got above 40. All right. All right, which one has the cough drop in it here? I'll try the secrets. This is just not giving me a break. I mean, it was doing good yesterday. Oh, Tammy Harder just slid in. Cool. All right, so tonight's topic, being Protect Your Homestead, has to do a little bit about everything on a homestead. You know, starting with protecting your chickens, your livestock, your plants, the garden, the orchard, everything. Yeah. So the best way to put it is, if you've got any type of homestead, even if it's a half acre or 1,000 acres, you want to protect it. And unfortunately, some states are going, the demon rats in charge of those states are going totally off the rail and trying to ban all the ways you can do it and pass all sorts of laws, trying to eliminate the castle doctrine, the no retreat doctrines. And some states are passing some really nasty, ugly laws. Of course, they're most likely going to get overturned by the courts. All right, Gunslinger Outdoors is here. Thank you. Oh, and Kaylin Strain's here too. All right, so in protecting your homestead assets, it also has to do with protecting your assets other than the land and what's on the land. So I'm going to get into a little bit of legalese here, and then I'm going to get into some other things, some physicality things. So I'm trying to provide enough information and do it in a way that it's beneficial for everybody to understand. So with the legalese thing to do, if you've got land, one of the best things you do is to transfer that land to a irrevocable land trust. Glenn's here, How to Garden. And what that does is that takes it out of your name, and you can transfer it to a land trust with a quick deed. And then even if you're still paying it off, and then once you can do that, there's ways to take it and have a bank account set up in the land trust's name. So you deposit money in the land trust writes the check to the bank, and for the account and everything else. And that way it's protected from you. When I say protected from you, it would say you get in a car accident, somebody tries to sue you, they can't touch the land because it's not in your name. And all you are a trustee for the land trust. That's one thing to do. You can also set up other living trusts and stuff. You can set up an LLC where you put all the vehicles into the LLC, and all the LLC owns is the vehicles. Sort of like a type of insurance policy. You can also put those into a different type of trust, and that way, it works out. But this way, if you put it in an LLC, you can become a employee earning under a certain amount of money and compensation stuff, which includes the use of vehicles and stuff. That way you don't have to pay any tax on it, but you get the right stuff. The LLC gets the right expenses off. Anyways, it's a whole number of things about that. No capital gains on it because nothing was sold. And in fact, if you do it the Elon Musk way, if you set it up and you sell it at a loss to the LLC or to the LLC that is under the control of a land trust, whatever, you can transfer the stuff around and take a loss each time you transfer it. There is no capital gains. In fact, there's losses. No volume. Okay, Mark says no volume. Can you guys hear me? Give me a 1 if you guys can hear me. If you can't hear me, give me a 2. Okay, it doesn't say I'm muted here. 1, okay, you can hear me. Okay. Oh, good now. I think Mark had his volume turned down. 3. All right, good. All right, we got it. Okay, so there are ways you can protect the physical assets from accidents and unscrupulous people trying to sue you and stuff like that. And the thing is, like, if you put the land in a land trust, and the land trust and LLCs can keep their officers secret from anybody but the federal government now, which means anybody out there trying to scam and sell it, you can have, whoever, like the bank would know who the officer is, but they're not allowed to give that out to anybody asking about it. So if someone's trying to scam out a thing and they try to claim you to be Joe Schmo, whatever, owning this property or being a trustee of the thing, they go, no, you're not. You can't take out a loan on it. You can't, borrow money against it because you're not a trustee. And no one can borrow against it but the trust itself. And that's some of the stuff you can have set up so people can't steal your property that way. If you have multiple properties like I do, we're going to get land trusts for each separate property. And that way each one's separate from another one. In case something happens on one property, the other properties aren't endangered because they're in the same land trust type thing. So there's ways of protecting properties that way. Motor vehicles, like I said, you can put the cars in one LLC, and you put all the farm equipment in another one. And you need to get someone who's a good tax attorney, because then you can have, there's things you can do to, like the big boys do. You have the LLC, the equipment LLC, purchase any new equipment you get, rotor tillers, tractors, whatever, and they depreciate everything out. And then, so basically when you're, quote, renting it at a really, really low rate to the LLC doesn't make enough taxable money. And anyway, it's a whole nother thing to go into. And you need to get a good tax attorney and to work on this and set it up for you. But that's one way you can protect your assets from people encroaching upon it. One of the other things you can do is, is of course is setting up fences and border protection, so that not like our country's border protection the way it was, the way Trump is trying to make it nice and secure. So animals, predators can't get onto the property. Trespassers can't get onto the property without triggering some sort of warning or notification. And there's a whole bunch of things that you can do on that. Security cameras, motion sensors, driveway alarms, all sorts of things you can have hooked up and do it on a intranet, not an internet. So it's a private you have your own little server type computer there, and everything feeds into it. And then it pings via Wi-Fi or via internet to your phone saying, hey, got problems. And that lets you know about that. And Lewis says guard dogs. Guard dogs are a triple-edged sword. Only one of those edges protects you. The other two become a liability against you. So that's one of the things about when it comes to guard dogs. You got to be very careful. You got to get special insurance on the dogs to protect you from anything the dogs do. And that's why a lot of people aren't doing guard dogs anymore, because stupid states are passing laws about it. Oh, it's a trained vicious animal, blah, 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 blah. We're passing laws so you're more liable for if the dog pees on someone's pant legs or whatever, they can sue you for everything you own. So that's one of the things that you got to remember is what steps you take. Passive protection is just that, passive. You're not taking any aggressive or overtly obvious actions. Fences, cameras, all that stuff is passive stuff, which keeps, is basically it's you're not doing anything that will harm anybody coming in. Unfortunately, dogs can harm people, so that's one of the overt ones that you want to try to avoid if you can. I'm not going to say you're going to avoid all of them, but now if you have a trained dog that stays in the house, it's in the house except when it's in closed backyard area to go poop, and otherwise it stays in the house, and that's an entirely different parameter for the dogs, because the dogs aren't wandering the property, guarding the property. They're guarding the house alone. So that, now there's a different type of guard dog. It's not called a dog guard. It's called a livestock dog. And it protects the livestock against predators. So I've seen some that are trained. They won't bother a person till the person lays hands on some of your livestock. And if they're not family and they lay hands on your livestock, then the dog takes action, because then they've already taken an overt action and the dog's just responding. But livestock dogs work for keeping, like foxes out, coyotes out, predators and foxes and stuff like that. And your livestock dogs have to be a certified, trained livestock dog. And Rebel Canners is here. Hey, Tammy. So in dealing with physical type protection, your livestock dogs will not go after anybody just kicking the door down. They're not protecting livestock. They are keyed on livestock only. They live out with the livestock. They live with the sheep. They live with the turkeys. They're out in the fields, in amongst the animals and stuff. and the animals know and trust the dog because the dog is there taking care of them. All right. Like I mentioned, there are to protect the animals. There are different types of fencing you can get. You can get electrified fencing. You can get like chain link fencing that'll keep certain predators out or make them try to crawl over. You can top it with, hang on here. No, I don't have it up here. You can top it with, Constantine wire if you're so inclined and have the money to do so, because that's a passive thing. No training the Chihuahuas. You don't have to train Chihuahuas. They're ankle biter killers. And no judge in his right mind is going to say that's an attack dog. No, that's an attack squeak toy. All right. Protecting your assets. They're going a total different way now. Chickens, proper chicken coop. Protect them from the winter weather, the high winds, summer heat. You're protecting them from Mother Nature. Then you have, make sure that the coop itself will protect them from any predators. Then you build a chicken run around it. Chicken run basically protects them from predators. There are cool things you can get, like for the chicken coops that have timed doors that close down and won't open up until the morning, or unless you have the override remote control. You see two chickens who are too stupid to go in. You go out there and you start shooting them towards the door. You open the door, you shoot them in, close the door. Sheep, same thing. You have what pole barns. No walls on them, just one wall on it. A slope, either a peak or just a single slope roof. Generally, the opening is away from where the wind generally blows, and the low side is if they has a wall coming on that side. That way, it gives cows, horses, sheep, goats, pigs some place to go to get away from the weather. Then you can step that up. You can have it with 2 sides on it. You can have it with 3 sides on it, and it gives more protection for animals from the weather. And if you have a livestock dog out there with them, the livestock dog will sleep right into the cover with them. Other animals that are great for livestock protection: donkeys. Livestock protection donkeys are amazing to watch in action. They're also a little bit noisy too, but they'll stop rattlesnakes. They'll go after coyotes. They'll actually go after the coyotes. And a donkey can reach up. If you're in front of the donkey, it can reach up with its hind leg and kick you. So yeah, there's donkeys and mules can be trained for being livestock protection animals. There's what was the other one? Not ostriches. The cousin of the ostrich has been known to take on a protective role over other birds. So you've got turkeys and chickens and ducks and stuff. This other one looks at itself as the grand poobah of protecting all the fowl in your yard. Emu, yeah, I think that's it. Emus will go out there and go after the things. And hey, see the size of the meaty legs on emus and ostriches. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't want to get kicked by one of those. Of course, I did see a real cool video the other day of a mother hen taking her chicks out, and all of a sudden a hawk came down in, and the rooster jumped on the back. The hawk tore that hawk up, and the hawk barely flew out of there. I mean, he was hurting bad because that rooster was, rooster's got big old nasty long spurs on him, and just, took that hawk to town. All right, let's see here. So there are all sorts of different types of fences. Let me go ahead and get this other thing here down out of the way here. And I got to open up another one here. Now, the thing is with like livestock cameras, that you get if you get the cheap ones, you get cheap ones. You get the more expensive ones. Get ones that do all sorts of things like send a ping to your phone every time it takes a picture of something. So at night, it's going ping, 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 ping. What the heck's going on out there? Oh crap! I got a bunch of hogs tearing up the area. Oh no! I got a bunch of teenagers wandering into my land. So STOC. Where's images? There's images. So protecting the parameter. Cool. That's the thing. You can set them up in areas that you generally can't see from the house, or where generally you think predators are coming into your property. All right, here. So different types of fencing setup. This one has it's basically it's not cow panels, but it's cow rollout fencing. And then it's got a hot wire running across the top. It's got a gate there. This is cow paneling. We got cow paneling between us and the neighbors behind us, and we got a hot wire across the top of it. Unfortunately, when they were running had the hot wire set up, they didn't check it, and it had gotten damaged. And the cows were leaning over and just pushing down on the fencing. And they realized it, and they had to go out and straighten a bunch of stuff and restring their hot wire. Okay. Sometimes they put solid pieces of steel or wood across the top of it. Then there's just plain wooden ones here to keep, the cows out of certain areas. You just put a gate up on it. This is a little bit smaller. This is sheep and goat fencing here. Because regular cattle fencing, they'll stick their heads through. CB is in the house. So like where the big holes here are good for cattle, but they're not good for goats or sheep. And you run combinations of like barbed wire and wood. You can run all wood. You can run. You can put metal livestock stuff type fencing up. You can stain it and make it different colors. Make it brown, red. Let me go back and what was that other color there? A different type of red. Yeah, you can do also, and this is this is the smaller livestock fencing to keep goats and stuff in. And so there's different sizes you can get depending on what your livestock is, what you want to do it. You can control grades and stuff with it. A little more expensive way of doing it. This is hot wires. That's all hot wire. Actually, no. The top, middle, and bottom are hot wire. The other two, this number 2 and number 4, are barbed wire. And this one here, looking at it, is I can't see if there's insulators on it. I'm not sure if this is all hot wire or all steel cable. But generally, you can tell the hot wire are the ones that are insulated, and the steel, just plain steel cables, are not. And generally, once a cow gets hit by one of them, they won't touch any of them. Yeah, some of that fencing gets a little pricey. That's why I like falling back to the barbed wire or the simple hot wire. Because, all right, let me pull something up here. Let me get in here and pull something up for you guys. I'm talking about this, and we're going to go fence. There we go. Going to my fence on it. All right, so this top one here, I'm going to open some of these up. Okay, and it depends how much you want to spend on it. Charge controllers. I bet it went and dropped stuff down. Oh, this is the good one. This is the good one. I got that one. Okay, so what we got here, let's go up to the top. Yep, I bought this. So this is a poultry. It's generally they call it a poultry fence, but it's good for more than just chickens. It'll keep deer, unless the deer jump over it, goats, sheep, pigs, dogs, lambs, little boys, little girls from running all over the place where they're not supposed to be. And so this is 49.5 inches tall, 164 feet long. And it comes with I get to show it here. It's not, doesn't want to show it, doesn't want to move around. Oh well. It comes with the stakes pre-attached to it. Come on, dang it just doesn't want to do it. That one does. There we go. That was moving around. It's got the stakes pre-attached on it. And certain wires are hooked up certain ways. Some of them, everything, the entire fence is one charge, and the other leg goes into the ground for a ground. Others, it's split. So you'll have like the yellow or the black be one hot wire and the green be another hot. So they have to touch both of them. I like the one where they touch any of it, they get zapped. Yeah. We've hung CDs in our cherry trees, apple trees, and apricot trees to try to keep some of the birds out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Birds are getting too domesticated the wild birds get too domesticated as far as knowing what is and is not something to be afraid of. Same thing with the squirrels. All right, so that's that there. This one here, you can get just the wire. This is 9-gauge aluminum wire, 4,000 feet for $301. And so that'll give you, depending on how many wires you want to put across, that will give you a little extra protection on it. If you have an old cow fence on it, it's up there, but it's not, if the cow's really pushed against it, they could get out. You run a couple strands of this offset away from it, and they suddenly stay away from the fences. Yeah, there are different ones. Oh, all right. And so if you need to run an insulated one up and around, like over gates and stuff, they have this here, which is insulated, double insulated wire, so you can run it up over the gates make connections and stuff, you know, do things like that to so you can do stuff. All right. These, there we go. These are 5-inch offsets, which is what I hate the 1.5-inch offset. I hate the 2-inch offset. I hate the 3-inch. The 5-inch one puts it farther out, so the fencing has a little wobble in it. It puts it out beyond the wobble, and you don't wind up shorting out your hot wire. And so yeah, that's what it looks like. This end up here connects onto a T-post, and that in there is where the wire feeds through. And you can feed it through and leave it loose in there, or you can pull it and then twist it, wrap it around to give it extra, keep tension on it in case it breaks somewhere else and the whole thing doesn't across everywhere. And that's how it goes. In fact, that's the type of wire I got for ours. All right, so a 25 pack is $11. And if you're putting on T-posts that are 8 to 10 feet apart, or putting on every other one, and now you're at 16 feet apart, yeah, you can cover a lot of fencing this way. Besides that one, let's see, is it this last one here? Yeah, this is basically the same thing, except it's nail-on, and it nails onto the to wooden fences. And so, yeah, this is a little bit stouter, costs $1 more per bag of 25. Well, this is on a 25% discount. 25% discount. Dang it. Oh, yeah, I think I paid more than that for it when I ordered it. But yeah, you just go along with a framing hammer and just tap it into the post, wooden post, and string your wire up. All right, let's go. That's that one. So we'll go here. If you're going to get a charger, it runs either on AC or battery, or you know, either way, because it's solar powered, it'll charge up a battery. This is a sealed lead acid battery. My thing would be after 5 years, the battery's going to start going. Replace it with an ion lithium phosphate battery, and it'll last 20 or 30 years. Your kids will be using it. And yeah, and it's got multiple settings on it. And it also depends whether, you know, where you're at, so as what type of battery you want to put on as far as temperatures and stuff. But this is a 0.65 joule. Most of the ones I had on my list here, let's go back to the list and look at those and see what it says on them. This is a this is probably this is a 2 joule, a 0.2. This is a 0.65. This is a 0.25. This is a 0.1. This is a 0.3 joule. I have one of these as well, which I was just going to use around here because that doesn't have a long distance. Yeah, so the higher the joule, the more oomph it has at the far end of the run. And also, if you're running certain animals, you want to have a higher oomph on it. Pigs are thick-skinned, but they are very, very sensitive to electricity. So, well, a 2.5 joule will send a pig running from it. Let's see what else we got here. All right, so this is 3,000 feet, well, 3,360 feet, 66 feet of it. This has this strands in it, so it won't rust. And let's see here, anything. Yeah, and you can run it through those type of insulators where you screw them in. Those are a little bit more expensive. Or you can run it on the other ones and just run it through, you know, stick it in, whip it in, run it through. So yeah, this is the longest one, and this is this is almost as long as that 4,000-foot aluminum one. But yeah, this works pretty dang good, and it's more visible for kids and certain animals to say, oh, wait a minute, there is something there, and they don't go walking into it or running into it, as the case may be with little boys playing tag. And these are gate pieces. So you hook the hot wires hooked onto the round part there. This part hooks onto a hook attachment you get on the other end. The wire's tied to, so you can do it, and it's spring loaded, so you can pull it, unhook it, and unhook a couple of them, move the your lawnmower through, move animals from one field to another field, and hook it right back up again. And so I covered that, covered this, that. Any of the fencing stuff here I need to look at here? Nope. Yeah. Oh, you can pee. Oh, I ain't gonna get into that, but when Mythbusters did the thing about peeing on the hot rail, the slow motion or the high speed camera showed that the pee stream was breaking up into little droplets or goblets, and there was no direct connection to do it. You had to get really close to something to get a good current. So those are and so those will help keep the hot wires will help keep your animals in, and it'll help keep deer out, and you can run it around. They have, oh shoot, I forgot to do that. I gotta look something else up here real quick here. Orders. Yeah, here's the other thing I forgot to show. On like this type fence here, you can get, and I got a box of it, of the fiberglass poles that you can use and move around for non-permanent fencing. And if you want to change the patterns of the hot wires and stuff, and you just put them in place, and you just run the wire across on it, and then once you get it up, you hook it up. I'll let you do that, Mark. That'll be one of your first great million hit videos. But yeah, how many was in this? This was a bundle of 50. This is a pack of 50. So I got this because this also works on these. So if you have the gap between these, I noticed, especially if you're trying to make a round one, it's not, you need extra posts to help hold it up into shape. So I got extras to do that to help corral the chickens and the rabbits, but my daughter decided not to. They decided to get rid of the rabbits and not do rabbits anymore because they didn't want to spend the time out there, and she was spending more time chasing around the other two-legged polecat she gave birth to. But where did I put it? 15th at the end, yeah. So yeah, these things here they're easy, great. They got a on the bottom there, it has a piece that you can step on, goes in great, works great on it. All right, so with the electric fences and stuff, or even just the hot wires, if you happen to have a chicken run with chicken wire all over it and stuff, you can use those offset nail it into the wood insulators, and you can run like one near the top, you can run near the bottom, and you run one up a couple feet. And what that'll do is when you get certain things like foxes, I forget the type of snake, was it a rat snake or whatever, that likes to get in and eat the chicken's eggs and stuff, they'll go along and they touch that wire and bam, and all of a sudden, you know, your the possums, the trash pandas, the foxes and coyotes don't want to go anywhere near the chicken run now. Yep. There's several of the homesteading channels do it. Arms Family Homestead was using it for a while to as they moved the goats around out there. They'd run several strands out and let the goats into an area and then go set up for another area. Then they move them that area. Then they move that fence around and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Works with pigs, goats, sheep, horses, cows. Yeah. All right. So, all right. Now we're going to get into the area, which, as Steve says, know your local laws. If you need to protect your assets, your animals and stuff with a freedom stick or a full metal defense stick or a club, you need to make sure you know what you can and can't do. Colorado, the Senate in Colorado passed a measure to ban all semi-automatic weapons, including semi-automatic pistols, including ranch rifles, anything that cycles without a bolt or a lever action or a break open and it's going before the House, and the House is a Democratic majority, so it's going to probably pass in Colorado until the Trump administration's ATF guys get a new mandate to go out there and start defending the Second Amendment, and they're going to start, you know, it'd be fun. I would love to see them go out there and arrest everyone that voted for it for treason. That would stop a lot of it nationwide, trying to circumvent the Second Amendment. Anyways, you need to check with your local to find out what you can do, what you can use. Some of them have some municipalities and sheriff's departments and states have no problem with you using rock salt. Some sheriffs say, "Hey, they're breaking into stuff. Yeah, you're free to shoot them. Don't worry, we'll come out, clean up the mess, and leave." So you make sure you check with your local law enforcement to find out what you can and can't do, and then whatever you have to do it with, make sure you get training on it. How am I going to say this? There is a Jason Statham movie called The Wrath of Man, and in it he's an expert pew pew, and he goes to work undercover with a security company trying to catch these bad guys that are robbing the armored car trucks, and they shot his son, who was an innocent bystander, just because he happened to be there and saw what was going on. So he's after these guys. So he goes on, gets on with the hired with this company, and he has to go to a gun range stuff, and he is messing up big time all the way through the class. And you need to have a 70% score at the end to get your guard license to be armed and stuff. and he gets exactly 70%. That's all I'm going to say on that. And so when he wound up shooting somebody, he goes, I just got lucky. He goes, I was aiming for it. I was aiming for his knee. And he got him somewhere else. Anyways, so you need, if you're going to be using that sort of freedom stick, you need to be careful about it. Some other people I know have turned to crossbows because you hold them to your shoulder and they're not a firearm. Others just go for compound bows because they're expert bow hunters and that's how they hunt, during hunting season. So that's what you got to figure out what you want, what you're willing to do, how you're going to do it, and a way to live with yourself if you have to do it. All righty. So, any questions about things? So we talked cameras, we talked motion sensors. Oh, I want to look something up in here real quick here. Go back in and was it under tactical? I don't have security. No, I don't have a security, so it had to be tactical. Then, of course, there are the air rifles and stuff, which are less than lethal. Of course, they now have some. Well, I might as well show this one to you. There's these are pre-charged pneumatics, 66 caliber, and they got the reusable rubber paintball size ammo for practicing. They got the pepper spray balls and other stuff. So let me go down here and see if I can find if I put it over here in this one here. Yes, here we go. So these are driveway alarms. I don't want that. I want, and they got different ones and you can set them up and they let you know when someone's entering your driveway out at the front. And if you have a long driveway, when they reach the halfway point. So you can set up these out in different places to let you know when someone's coming in. And so if there's a ping ping, and then it's a couple minutes later as someone walking got up to the next one, ping ping, someone's walking. There was a ping ping, and then a ping ping, someone's driving in. Howie's here. Yeah, lights as well. Motion sensor lights are another one to work with. The trail cams are all motion sensor to pick up and do stuff. And yeah. Yeah, if you want to go with the paintball route, there are a whole bunch of different. There's the pistols that are they're called paintball markers, and the pump ones and stuff. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ones. I just happen to put these in my watch list just for fun. Probably not. You have to check with local, but your fire department is probably going to say no. And during certain times, they're going to be going, hell no. And if the wind's really blowing, they're going to go, blankety blank blank, hell no. So yeah, and the same thing goes with the triple alarms that have the 12 gauge blanks in them. Yeah, geese are watch geese. I know Corky, White Family Farm had some geese that would chase after people. When I first went to work for the college district police services, way back in the 70s. Anyways, they had geese around the big pond they have out there. And generally the geese kept together, but if you went wandering in one of the areas where they had a bunch of the bushes and stuff there, and the geese had laid eggs in there, oh man, the geese would attack. Turkeys will do it a little bit. Technically, you're not allowed in the United States. It's illegal everywhere in the United States, federal law. You can't have a pet crow. You can't own crows. You can't, yeah, that's a federal law, because crows are being trained to steal stuff. All righty. All right, let me get over here and bring it up. So tomorrow on Saturday, I'm going live with Shadow Scout Swede at 2 o'clock Eastern time. That usually runs to be about a 4-hour live stream. Tomorrow's topic is prepping myths and dangerous lies. And so we're going to go over a bunch of the prepping myths and some of the dangerous lies and dangerous tips and stuff that people are told. So that's from 2 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. Then at 8 p.m. Eastern, it's the Survival Saturday on my channel only. After the fuel runs out, what are your plans? We're continuing on for all year with the event series. Let's see, Monday on Camppatton Family Compound here, tinctures and other infusions. And yes, Tammy, I need to get that loaded up so I can get the link off to you. Tactical Tuesday, why you need a computer in SHTF or Tawaki. And then Thursday is the Midnight Ride. Next Friday here, linseed oil. What I put, I can't read it. Oh, pros and cons. So we talk about linseed oil, pros and cons for cutting boards, wood handles, you name it, any wood you want to put linseed oil on. We're going to talk about pros and cons on that next Friday night here. All righty. So with that, everyone, think about what you need to do to protect your homestead assets, even if your homestead asset is in an apartment, Kaylin. So yeah, you want to protect your assets best you can. And you might, if you have enough expensive stuff, you might look into either an irrevocable trust. A revocable trust, they can still come after you. It's still your name's on. But an irrevocable trust, an LLC, or one of the other little things they have set up for S Corp and stuff they have set up like that to insulate you from the stuff you own, which of course you no longer own it. It's owned by the trust or whatever that you are a trustee for and make the decisions for it. All right, folks, I will see you around hopefully tomorrow on either one or both of the live streams tomorrow. Take care.